Welcome. Hi. Well, okay, seated and lying down practice. Get my blanket and maybe a strap. I'll demonstrate using a regular belt instead of a yoga strap because we can usually make do with what we have. So for seated practice, a folded blanket for softness and maybe a little elevation. And you can gradually get lower and lower with your seat as your hips learn to sit in this way. But if it brings you comfort and support, why not give that to yourself? Because the seated pose should be steady and comfortable. We apply that to all the shapes. Finding the foundation in your seat that is as easeful as it can be. The awareness coming to the spine. Feel your low back stays, that back waist draw forward and long as you lift a little bit tall through your spine. And rest your shoulders on your ribs. Rest your hands on your legs so that the shoulders stay aligned. And just take a moment with your posture and your breathing. I'm gonna go get my microphone. Just remember one more part. Here we go. Hopefully, there we go. Microphone. And more friends joining in. We're just settling in. Your process of bringing quietness by bringing stillness to your body, finding that gentle rhythm of your breath, that natural quality of breathing, part of nature, sharing the air with the rest of the earth. Relaxing around the eyes, inviting the mind to focus gently on the present. Postural awareness, a few more cycles of breath here. As you exhale, bring a little tone into your low belly, down below your navel, so it's naturally part of the exhale. One more breath where you feel, inhale, expand. So move your rib cage when you breathe deeply, and then exhale, contract into the center, down low in the belly, supports your spine, core strength. And one more breath like that. Inhale, rib cage, all directions. Exhale, feel it come into the center and downward with a final lift up into the belly center. That's the natural exhale. Bringing up your arms, a few gentle spins of your wrists, and bring your hands to your heart center. Settle your arms into your body. Rest your chin towards your chest. The vow of ahimsa, strong word, but important to take care of yourself. A promise, an intention that gives you full permission to be where you are with your body and cause no harm. Breathing out. And then to symbolize what is sacred to you, breathing in. Oh. In this meditative space, begin to circle from your hip joints, finding some ways of doing a little seated movement around the hips. Go the other way, circling energy-free breathing. Yeah, your own speed, and coming round up to that tall spine again. Bring in your knees, plant your feet. Hold your shins like a seated cat and cow. Return to the side for this one to show. So really hold your feet, keep your feet down, lean back, and let your low back round a little bit. Then sit tall, use your arms here, sit tall, bring your chest, belly, and face gently extended, and then going back and forth a few times. Hang back in the shoulders a little bit, and core strength, tall, open front body. Spinal mobility. And one more time, each way. Just the right amount that feels right. And release. Please bring your legs to a cross and come forward in an easygoing way. It's easy pose, forward fold. So I'm going to start really small. Maybe just lean forward, rest your arms down on your legs, or you can reach out. Let your head come down. Moving the back of the neck, lengthen. You can move your head a little bit here while you stretch your hips. Breathe out one more time. Coming up slowly and switching across for the balance in the hips on the other side. So comfortably, loosely arranged. Forward tilt from the pelvis. Down. Coming into those 5-breath, 30-second-ish holds. If you have the kind of mind that appreciates the count, one more time. Coming up, arms float not too high, turn towards the left side, bring your hand to your knee and one behind. Rotation through the spine and the eyes. Keeping everything really gentle today in my practice, and you may do the same, or you may find a comfortable range of motion that works with your body today. Coming back to center and into side bending. So that hand that was on the knee can stay, or it can change up to the floor beside you. Feel your way in. That left hip a little bit heavy, helps create that side stretch, the low back stretch. One more exhale. Come up slowly, using your core strength. And then the other side, the float of the arms, a little turn. Stay and breathe. Turn your neck with length through the spine. One more exhale. A slow transition to a side bend. So I let go of my knee, and then I tried to, saw how that was to catch the knee again. Maybe come over for a more supportive version on the floor. Take away any effort that is not needed. One more breath here. Exhale, low belly. Inhale, come up. And bring out your legs, point your toes, a heart lifting pose with your hands behind, fingers are forward ish. So the front shoulders open gently, tops of the feet, the front of the body receiving length here, gaze down. Down and centered gazing, further working with that center point between the eyebrows, one of those places on the center line. One more. Exhale and release. Please come up and let that feel complete. I am under the weather, so sorry for my lack of clarity at moments. So we're going to come into the lying down over a rolled up blanket. So it's like a small foam roller, and it can be about as wide as your mat or wider. It's going to go behind your shoulder blades as you lie down. And just getting to know what you tolerate here. I can tolerate a pretty big support behind my back, but this one's really gentle this way. So you'll sit with your feet on the ground and ease back with your arms so that your shoulder blades, the back of your heart is on that, and your shoulders and head come towards the floor. Once you're down, recenter, lengthen your spine. Settle your arms, give your body a moment. Make sure that you can settle comfortably into this shape. Big transition. This one's a little energizing because it's a back bend. Would your legs like to change to another shape? They can stretch out and relax or find another form. Breathing deeply. Allowing the chest and shoulders to be lifted lightly. So back bending in a restful way. Relax your eyes and breathe 5 more slow times. Letting yourself be supported and held. One more time, nice pose for the upper back and mid back stiffness. Bring your hands together and lift up your head, slipping your hands behind your skull. For a little mobility in the upper back, breathe out, low belly center tones, and then curl up over the blanket and back down slowly a few times. How is that with the legs straight? I'm going to try one with my knees bent so I can focus a little more on just that upper body. Try not to use your neck. And one more time, come up. Maybe the elbows come towards each other. Really get a neck and head and upper back stretch going. And then slowly open your elbows and lower down and relax. Invite some gentle windshield wipers in your hips, turning out and rocking there. And finding your most easeful side, your dominant side is fine for today to come off the blanket, or you could roll up if you felt that would be a safe exit for you. So off the blanket, out of the way, roll on back down and bring your knees in. Lengthening the low back space. Movement or stillness. Feel the stretching a lot in my shins for some reason today. Where do you feel this in your body? This curiosity, the tops of the feet, around the knees. We're flexing our hips, lengthening that low back. And please come over to one side and stretch out. Just figure out which order I'd like to do things. So my blanket is going to come in and be a pillow for this side laying stuff. So come to side lie mounted, please. Support your head. Letting the knees both bend, especially that bottom knee. As we prepare to move a little bit. So taking that top leg out straight, toning your low belly. Lower and lift that top leg slowly several times. So if it's okay with your body to stretch out the bottom leg too, the bottom leg is going to work to stabilize you here, and we'll work on our hip strength with these side lying leg lifts. I was thinking it really doesn't, the physical choices we do with our practice is not as important as our mindfulness, our sense of being present with what we're doing. Yoga practice can look all kinds of ways physically. You can sit and practice yoga without moving. Start to feel stronger around your hips, possibly lower and lift another few times. Actually, surprisingly hard to work this way. Challenges the body very well. Then knees coming into more of the bend position to do a few clamshells. Lifting slowly, the knee away from the bottom knee. Rest your feet together, there's the hinge. And then coming down slowly, knees together or towards each other. Lift your foot, the reverse clamshell, internal rotation of the hip. Back and forth, clamshell, stable, reverse clamshell. Range of motion explored, not too fast. Carry on a little longer. So we're trying to build up some nice sensation in those seat muscles. Means that they are strengthening in these exercises. And I'm going to invite maybe 2 or 3 more each shape. Slow. Letting that feel complete. Stretch out your legs one more thing. Cross your arms. Lift your head and feet, little smile pose. Nice and light for today. And rolling to the back of your body. Recenter. So I've got my folded blanket now as my pillow neck support, and we'll take that hip that we were just working on, minus my right, and come to a lie down, knee down twist. So bring the leg across the body, you roll to the side a bit, bring that knee towards the floor, find a way to ground your foot on your leg, floor, and then the other side, shoulders trying to go down. Find a nice balance between that knee and the opposite elbow. Turn your head and breathe deeply. That opposite arm, like a cactus arm or outstretched. One more breath, the happy medium between the two sides. Exhale. And a slow release. Bring in the bottom leg, plant the foot, and moving towards a half happy baby with your hip working leg, right leg. So knee towards the armpit, foot towards the ceiling. Use your hands. Breathe. Exploration of movement as you practice gently in these shapes today. So happy baby a little bit longer, one-sided. Breathing out, feel your center and your low belly. Then what if we took that happy baby leg and reached it at that angle out over your shoulder a bit, and the other leg, maybe it's stretched out at its angle. So a little bit of an angled off center with both legs. Stretch out with those to whatever degree. Hang out with lots of nice support. And then reversing that slowly. Bringing the leg across the body a little bit. You could use a strap for this. Plenty of time. You can go as far over with that leg as you'd like, so bringing it across the midline, but trying to keep shoulders on the ground. Another breath there. Back to center, bring the leg towards your shoulder. Supta Pada Gustasana, the other leg can point and stretch out. These are strength and core poses that are also nice and stretchy. Release the leg up towards the ceiling, the second side out to the side. You can use your arms and hands for support or the strap. And coming back to center, bend your knee and come into a figure four pose slowly. Scan your whole body. Make refinements early on as soon as you notice. Get yourself as comfortable as you can so you can drop in and relax there. Knees can come, legs can come in towards your body or not. Meditative, really present, letting wellness be welcome. Bring peace into your body. Then how would it be to a reclined cow face pose with the legs, where it's more like you're sitting and you cross your legs at the knees? So exploring that with your body, you can bring it closer. On this side of my body, my legs don't appreciate that very much, so I'm going to keep it where they do appreciate it. But you can bring in the legs to whatever degree, little or a lot. If it's interesting in your body to reach for your feet or anything like that, that's available as an option. Then letting the arms do a little coming into this, do a shoulder hug, mirror the legs. Find a really comfortable space with all of this and just let the arms relax, the legs relax. Breathe out another time. Release slowly, inviting both legs up into the air. Some wrists and ankles exploration. So elbows on the ground or up in the air with the arms. Ankles and wrists, fingers and toes. Feel. Taking time to get into that fascia connection around the joints, both ways. Windshield wipers, circles, figure eights. And then letting the legs start to do a little crisscross up top. Bring the hands to stillness. Where are they going to support your body here? Maybe ground your arms. So this crossing movement is hip movement. There could be a little lowering towards the floor if you want to work your strength in your low belly. Keep your low back grounded, very close to the ground. So you could do a little lowering and maybe a little coming up with your hips and back down. One foot at a time. Release. A little bridging. If you need to move your support from your head, you can. Come into the other direction for a little time and bridge. Nice and light. Front hips opening. Lots of sensation. Helps guide you. So without awareness is one place to rest your mind. Coming down. Got the whole second side. Starting with that side line. Weightlifting. So side laying mountain. Then turn all the way around and try to remember all that with my foggy brain. Side laying mountain. Support, cushioning, variations, free. And if you're live with me, feeling free to let me know if I forget something because that's part of it. So mountain first, settle, using your arm under your head is fine. After a few cycles of breath, you'll notice that you are working just to be here, just to balance, use core strength. Maybe a hand on the earth in front of your belly. Lifting your top leg slowly, using your glute muscles and lower slowly. We're trying to create lots of nice strength and work in those hip muscles here before stretching and lengthening. These outer hip muscles are big and strong. They like to be stronger. They're really important for our mobility. So it can take a little time to really feel them working. But even if you work them all the time, there it is, the sensation of strengthening. Really looking at it with wonder, like Mary Oliver would. And another 2 times till you feel maybe the lower leg, hip. Where else do you notice the strength in this in your body? Coming down, now the clamshells. So bring in the knees to a bench shape. Refine your foundation. Slow lift of the top knee. Lower. Lift of the foot. Lower. Listen to the sound of your breath like the inside of a seashell, especially if you're congested. You can always play some gentle music for yourself as we might in person. Each movement has its time and completes, which I think is a dopamine booster in the brain. Complete. 2 more sets. A, complete. B, complete. Last one. Quality movement. Reverse clamshell and pause. Okay. Um, I think this is where we move to the fly down twist. This will be my most spacey ever yoga class. Coming to the back of the body, rearrange. Coming across as you're ready with that top knee. Big stretch across the outer hip, the low back, and then the rotation in the spine, the opposite side chest and front shoulder. So finding your knee down twist that is therapeutic and positive, and breathe there. Exhale again and breathe one more time. Relaxing into that exhale in your range of motion. Just letting that feel complete. Stay nice and grounded in the transition back to the back of your body and center. Rock with windshield wipers slowly a few times. With a centered and comfortable spine, starting that half happy baby practice on this side. Just using the arms and hands to guide the leg into that one leg squat shape. Take away any strain in your face of concentration. Concentration is not in our forehead, it is deeper in the brain. So about halfway through this time, are you exploring this pose where your body feels good in it? You want to move there a little bit. Maybe range of motion has opened up slightly from the time spent. More slow breath to feel complete, find stillness and a sweet amount of depth. Bringing it to center, and I think that I went over into the leg across pose from here, trying to keep the shoulders on the ground. Reading my notes from the floor, sort of. I'll try to remember everything. It came backwards towards Supta Padangusthasana. Starting with C here, across the body, little free movement, exploration, anywhere that it feels good. Back to the center and bringing the leg right in towards the shoulder. Yes. Maybe the strap. So I'm sorry if it's not the same as the other side was. It'll be okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's a lot coming from someone who is a double Virgo. Coming out to the sides, it can help us know our tendencies. Out to the side, just the right amount, get that internal line of the leg. Right. Slow cycles of breath. Breathing out, round, low belly. Coming up, there's those little effortful moments, and into the figure four pose on this side of your body. You can use your strap for anything that it's helpful for. Bringing in if you like, or just parking it on the floor today. The bottom foot can always come closer to make the legs a little closer to the belly. Exploring more of a cross knee variation, like a reclined cow face pose. And again, the legs could be brought in if that's interesting, starting to bring the bottom foot close to the body, maybe the toes leave the floor. Options include reaching for the knees or towards the feet, exploring your body. And we added that shoulder hug. Use the same arm on the bottom as you do with the legs. And just letting it be restful. So I'm gonna let my feet come back to the ground and rest with that shape. Letting this feel complete, breathing out. Open things up, stretching out to pentagram, and point star. Nice and easy, but with a little bit of reaching, not Shavasana, but a little opening up energy. Slowly stretch the breath deeply and fully into your body. Fill all the way. Explore that space. Release it slowly, notice it. Return to the midline, feeling those 5 points away from the midline and how they respond to that. And bringing your knees to your chest again with some circling movement or rocking free. Legs up in the air with some light lymphatic movement with the fingers down the legs. Just resting the big toes together. Light touch. Trace where you can reach. And allow gravity to handle the rest. A few breaths here in stillness. A little movement as we finish here. Some heel stretching, back of the knee, feet and toes. So you get lots of control from this direction. And then the other way, front of the feet, ankles. Release, side, side. You can do your wrists too. They're connected to each other. They kind of want to. Hold in the knees. Come around and sit. Folded blanket, even that rolled blanket underneath if you like. For Malasana, bending the feet, just coming into these finishing shapes today. Staying with hip and seated poses. So garland pose, squat, you like your feet together or apart, arms through or holding the knees. Find your squat, hands together or otherwise. Time. Baddha Konasana, letting the feet come to their sides as you bring the knees towards the sides. Some freedom here. You could do a little seated cat and cow, holding the feet or ankles. So we didn't do our dog poses and things today that we normally move the spine through the waves. So spinal waves otherwise. And one more. Core moves the spine. Find a sweet spot in your release of your inner legs for 5 still breaths here. Non-attached, just be with what is with your range of motion. Let it be. Coming up. A few more seated things. The legs reaching out and drawing back on the toes. Sitting comfortably and quietly. meditation. Bring that quality with you as you return to the back of your body. Bring down for rest, comfortable. Any finishing movements that you'd like to add? So lie back and relax. I will read you a poem. Releasing any control of your breathing. It remains a steady and supportive energy and force in our lives. Always finding that breath means you're alive in the moment. Until I thought of myself as the sea, I used to separate good days from bad. Until I thought of myself as an ocean, I used to split times I felt strong from when I felt weak. Until I imagined myself as the sea, calm and rocky, wild and soft, still and powerful and vast and more than any one thing. In the ocean, it's hard to divorce one mood from another, one wave from the next. Now, on my worst days, I think of how good life is too, how I can still create joy while swimming through grief, how fragile strength feels, how I'm not any one thing in any one moment on any one day. I'm all of it, and all of it is me. Just like we drop into the practice, here we invite ourselves to re-enter our world of doing what comes next. So release your stillness, your body, your throat, your breath, your eyes. So free, releasing, transitioning. Taking a moment to check in. Thanking the tradition of yoga for bringing us together, for these tools for self-care. Hope the experience was a positive one for you, as I always do. So grateful, and that's always something that brightens our time together, is gratitude. Know and be friends with such lovely humans. Breathing in. Oh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, that was interesting.